I rock mostly Dolce, I roll mostly dolie. I'll leave you holy, you'll say holy moly. Here come the Corin, the killer, play roly-poly. I tell you true stories, how I holy ho heat. Okay, I rock mostly Dolce, I roll mostly dolie. This line is doing status plus motion at the same time. Rock mostly Dolce, luxury fashion, European elite taste. Not just I'm fly, but I know which fly matters. Roll mostly dolie, riding solo, independent, no entourage. So he's pairing high visibility with Dolce with low reliance, dolie, dolo. That's important. Cam isn't flexing safety and numbers wealth, he's flexing self-contained power. Fashion says I've arrived. Dolie says I don't need protection. I'll leave you holy holy, you'll say holy moly. This is classic Cameron, religious wordplay plus gun violence plus comedy cadence. Holy, 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 3 spellings, 3 different meanings. Holy, W-H-O-L-L-Y equals completely. Holy, H-O-L-E-Y equals full of bullet holes. Holy, H-O-L-Y equals divine, shocking, unbelievable. Triple entendre, don't ask me how. He's compressing cause to effect to reaction. What happens to you, holy, H-O-L-E-Y, the extent, holy, W-H-O-L-L-Y, the witness response is holy moly, okay? And he does it without changing rhythm. That's the flex. Violence isn't dramatized, it's linguistically tidy, almost cartoonish, which makes it colder. Here come the Corin to get 'em, play roly-poly. This line shifts perspective after the act. Coroner equals death is already assumed. Play roly-poly means bodies rolling, collapsing, tumbling. But roly-poly is a child's phrase. That contrast matters. Death is treated as routine. Language stays playful. Emotion is absent. Cam is showing how normalized violence in his world, not glorifying it, not lamenting it, just reporting it with numb humor. But the second layer, the pill bug, roly-poly, is where Cam gets quietly tactical. A roly-poly bug rolls into itself, protects its core, becomes small, unnoticeable, survives by disappearing. So when Cam says, here come the Corin or get 'em, play roly-poly, he's not just narrating aftermath, he's issuing a command. Let's talk about what the bar is actually saying when you expand it. Sequence-wise, it goes, violence happens, holy, H-O-L-E-Y. Death is confirmed, coroner. Now it's time to disappear. Play roly-poly equals fold in, lay low, minimize visibility, survive the consequences. That's not bravado, that's post-action discipline. And that discipline ties directly to the next bar. I'll tell you true stories, how I coldly ho heat. Cold doesn't just mean emotional detachment. It means controlled enough to know when to hide. Most rappers stop at action, aftermath, celebration. Cam includes escape logic. That's the difference between fantasy violence lived in reality. In real life, the story doesn't end when the shots stop. It ends when you don't get caught. Okay? There's thematic consistency with the verse. Look at the pattern now. Dolce to visibility. Dolie is independence. Holy, H-O-L-E-Y, is violence. Coroner is consequence. Roly-poly is concealment. Coldly equals emotional control. That's a full operational cycle. Cam isn't glorifying chaos. He's describing how to survive it. Okay? There's a reason why critics miss this layer. Because they hear a silly word, a cartoon phrase, a throwaway rhyme. But Cam always hides survival logic inside humor. If you don't know the street meaning and the natural metaphor, you miss it. That's hidden bar doctrine right there, okay? Let's talk about the line rewritten in plain English, okay? The body's dropped, the authorities are coming, now fold in and disappear. That's not nonsense, that's strategy disguised as playfulness. I'll tell you true stories, how I coldly ho heat. This is the grounding line. He snaps back into authenticity. True stories. This isn't exaggeration or metaphor. Coldly, emotionally detached, disciplined. Hold heat, armed, ready, controlled. This is Cam rejecting the idea that he's just saying wild shit. He's saying, I joke, I rhyme, I flip words, but the source is real. That line retroactively re-anchors the entire verse. Let's talk about how these 4 bars work together. Taken as a unit, the sequence is status, Dolce, independence, dolie, capability, holy, inevitability, coroner, and number 5, credibility, true stories. That's not random flexing, that's narrative compression. Why critics miss this is because they hear fashion brag, gun bar, wordplay, violence, and stop there. But Cam is actually doing what he always does, making brutality sound casual to show how casual it is. The humor isn't softness, it's armor. Okay? Pretty much saying, I'm fly, I move alone, I'm dangerous without emotion, and none of this is imaginary. That's a lot to fit into 4 playful sounding lines. And that's exactly why Cameron gets dismissed, because he makes density feel easy.